Yo, welcome guys. It's Danny Glover from Fight Fan TV Live. You know where it is. We're here. We're here to do a word on the canvas episode. As you can see, the title of the show. Make sure you share it out to everyone. You know what I mean? Share. Retweet if you're on Twitter. Retweet this. Share it out if you're on YouTube. Share it if you're on, you know, Facebook, whatever apps. Um, Trying to get my numbers up on TikTok. I think you need a certain amount of um, followers on there. So if you are on TikTok, please follow Fight Fan TV Live on TikTok, please. That will greatly help. Get the numbers up because then I can start going live on there because obviously that will definitely bring in a lot of viewers. Let's see who's in the chat early doors. Hold on, let me check first. Am I live on thingy? Let me just pitch that live on Instagram. Okay, we're in the building there. All right, cool. And let's see who's in there early doors. Yes, Philip Answer. Big ups, man. How's it going? Yeah, man. All's well. I'm looking a bit great. Let me try and brighten this up. Am I looking alright? What shade should I go for? This shade? Dark skin? Light skin? I'm joking. Let me go, yeah. I think this one should be alright. So yeah, man. All's well. So yeah. Let's talk. Let's get this thing popping. Let's get into this. So first off, as you can see, the title of the show, the British Boxing Board of Control. They've sent out a newsletter, obviously talking about the infamous Dr. USMAN SAJJAD. He's had a lot of affiliations with certain fighters. A few of those fighters have subsequently come up with what do you call it? Positive tests or adverse tests. It seems to be a bit of a habit. The latest one being his charge, Dennis McCann. He has taken photos of him and Dennis McCann off his page as of recent, but obviously they're already up. They're already floating about the internet, so that's too little, too late. Obviously Conor Benn. There's other fighters. I see he's working with Joseph Parker at the moment. Joseph Parker's pumping up and looking heavy, so I hope he's keeping it clean. He's worked with one of them Misfits fighters, King Kenny. I think he's working with him still. He's got his name on his page. So yeah, the British Boxing Board of Control, they're saying he is no longer a licensed medical doctor with the British Boxing Board. So he is not certified by the British Boxing Board, and let me read the statement out for you guys. Exactly. 1 second, because I posted it. 1 second. So the statement is as follows. So this is from the General Secretary, Rob Smith from the British Boxing Board of Control. Medical Officer Dr. Usman Sajid. With the regard to the above named, please note that Dr. Sajid is not a registered medical officer with the British Boxing Board of Control, and therefore no medical documentation will be accepted at the board's head office undertaken by Dr. Sajid. So, I know he was a license. I remember he posted a picture of his badge. So I'm using, I'm not the whizziest on this YouTube on this app thing, but I'm gonna learn how to start showing documents across the screen, and videos, because certain things I need to start, bringing you the receipts when I'm talking about Keep It Triller. And let's keep it a buck. I'm gonna have to start bringing the receipts gates to people on certain matters because I said I'm gonna give you a lot more content. I know you lot like more of my opinion and stuff like that. And talking on boxing, I've been, inboxed these things, voice note these things, because obviously normally you see me on the neutral corner, doing the podcast format, which is a bit different. Obviously, I've got Fight Talk Live. Make sure that you subscribe to that. We will be going live again tomorrow. Myself, October Red, Base the Kid, and Maestro. But yeah, I think you guys like to hear my opinions. Obviously, I'm in a few WhatsApp groups here and there, but I think you guys like to hear my opinion, I believe, from what I've been receiving as feedback. So I will start to give you more of that. Who else is in the bill? We've got. Oh, this is a bit. This is because I'm using a new streaming app thing. Hold on. So it's a bit. Hold on. I'm trying to read you lot's comments. So I see Waved in there. All right, one sec. So big up Waved. Yes, big up Waved. Much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. Big up. This scrolling method, man. Bloody hell. Free the conspiracy squad. Dr. Usman. Free him, yeah? Is that what you're screaming? Okay. So yeah, they subsequently, I know he was a license holder before, and now he's not. So any documentation from boxers saying, they've undergone any medical tests from injuries or license renewals where you're doing your boxing medical and it's come from, signed off by Dr. Usman, that will not be accepted any longer. So they've more or less axed him. I thought this whole Conor Hen situation was done. No, it was not just about Conor. Obviously, it's about the latest one with Dennis McCann. Remember, Conor's not the first and he's not the last. Remember, he was working with Tyson Fury originally. He was the first, and then Tyson came out and said something about boar meat. Obviously, he did the time served whilst he was retired that time after the Klitschko fight when he was supposed to do the rematch. So it started with Tyson Fury. It's the first really to get pop, and then obviously most recently Dennis McCann. So Conor Benn, he's just one of various names. So people shouldn't harp on about Conor. Conor's obviously fighting. He's fighting in April 26th against Chris Eubank Jr. We'll get onto that in a minute because this week. For boxing wise, actually, when it comes to shows, there ain't no shows in Britain this week that of note, no TV shows. So it's a quiet week over here. In America, there's no shows being televised over here. There's a few small hall shows for the American people. I think they got one. No, so they got one televised one. Other than that, it's small hall. But that televised one is on I forgot what channel it's on, but it's not available over here anyway. So it's one of them quiet weeks. So maybe that's why there was so much going on where fighters were flying in from last week, doing the Ring Magazine ceremony, the press conference. They were flying in thick and fast over to the UK because they probably had nothing else going. They thought it was a quiet week. We've got nothing to attend. So it just makes sense, really. So maybe that's why. So yeah, hold on. This thing needs to highlight a bit more. 1 second. Oh no, not like that. 1 second. Waved, he said, I don't like the blame game business. This is all assumption. Well, they're not. I don't think they're going off assumption. From my belief, from what I My conjecture is these said fighters who have come up with these bad tests, they've put in medical notes to the board previously with his signature on it, because he names them as he's their doctor on his page, on his website, on his Instagram page. Like if we go to his Instagram page right now, yeah, let's go to his Instagram page, right? Because he names all the people he's working with, his clients. Because obviously it's all about business. You got to show you're working with, um, you know, top guys. So Dr. USMAN SAJJAD, GP, sports doc and andro slash menopause, doctor for the champ, Tyson Fury. So still working with Tyson Fury, King Kenny TV, the UFC baddie. That's that Paddy the Baddie Pemblett. He's working with him. He's got Conor Ben, uh, Khalil Majid. He's a pro boxer, 13-0. And Lewis Edmondson, the current British and Commonwealth like heavyweight champion. So he's got them on his page. This is it, So those who he's worked with, like Dennis McCann, Tyson Fury, Conor Ben, and a couple others. He's had them on the books. He's put them on the books, and they've obviously, those fighters have put in before with his name on their letters. So they've discarded him and thinking maybe there's something to it. There's a Misfit show on tonight. Yes, there is. Is it Tommy Hench and versus Ty Mitchell tonight? I think. If they don't have any proof he supplied them, then he shouldn't be axed. Well, maybe some of these fighters might have named him. They're going to say, because people are going to, the board and stuff are going to say, where'd you get this from? Who's your doctor? Who supplied you this? He may have got thrown under the bus, but the rabbit hole might get deeper. There might be other people involved. Who knows? Say Dr. Usman goes on a show and does a tell-all. Who knows? Who knows? Darren Till and Anthony Taylor. Okay, yeah, I saw Anthony Taylor. Didn't Liam Smith say if he beats Darren Till, he'll fight him on the next one or something like that? Good little payday, innit? Can't complain. So yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all for Dr. Usman. Do you know why Ty Mitchell originally lost his license? Well, yeah, I do. But I won't disclose that on here. That's his personal business. If he wants to talk about it, then he can. Or you can kind of get the reason why if you watch the Neutral Corner podcast, the episode I did with Clifton Mitchell, his father, that's disclosed on there. But yeah, it's on there anyway, so I might as well say. So yeah, it's because he served time in prison. He served time in prison, and then also, then it just kind of, he had some trouble. I don't know. It was just like he kept doing, getting himself into trouble basically. So that's why. But now, he's found God. He's on the straight and narrow, and he's got his pro boxing license, and he's ready to get back to business. Do you know what I mean? Shout out Maestro in the building, and shout out Base the Kid. Make sure you subscribe to Maestro. He was just on live about half an hour ago with Joe Habib. Done a great live, so make sure you subscribe to him at Maestro and Milcar. And also shout out Base the Kid. Much appreciated. And also make sure that you tune in tomorrow. We will have a time for you later on today. We'll hopefully advertise it, if not later on today, tomorrow early when we do Fight Talk Live, which will be with myself, Base the Kid, Maestro, and October Red. So make sure you tune into that at Fight Talk Live. Make sure you subscribe to Fight Talk Live. Make sure you subscribe to Base the Kid at the Hardcore Casual. Make sure you subscribe to Maestro A, aka Maestro and Milcar. So yes. So yeah, Dr. Usman, he's been axed. So he's out the paint right now. He's out the paint. Next piece of news we will talk about is Conor Ben and Chris Eubank Jr. The fight is signed. I'm hearing, people was talking days later about rehydration clauses. I saw Chris Eubank Jr. going, "Oh, they've put in rehydration clauses," but the fight, I already got the news that he'd already signed the contract and agreed to the rehydration clause. You got to give something up. The guy's coming up one weight. I know Conor Ben replied, "I'm coming up 2 weights." No, you're not. You're coming up one weight. Your last few fights for the last couple of years have all been at 154 pounds. You've not fought at 147 pounds in like 2 years now. So you're coming up one weight division, really. You haven't boiled down to 147 in a very long time. So you've been campaigning at 154. You're walking around heavy. I've seen some of the pictures you're posting yourself on the scales, basically at super middleweight and stuff like that, like your 168 and stuff like that, 170. So you're coming up one weight division now. But yeah, it's not for a title. So yeah, Chris Eubank Jr., £10 rehydration clause. It's not that bad because it's what the rehydration clause is if you was to win the IBF title at middleweight. So you'd be able to weigh what 170. If you was the IBF champion, it would have been £10. Now it's moved up to £12 only last year by £2. But it's the old rehydration clause for an IBF title. So if you're a world class fighter, it's the sanction. Jaya Pataya, he can only put on £10 when he fights. You know what I'm saying? When he fights and stuff like that. So £10 is a championship style rehydration on one of the governing bodies. If you was really, if you really wanted to push it, you could have said, "Oh, let's do IBF rules, the current IBF rules, and say £12." But you didn't. You signed at 10. You're getting very well paid, and that is on April the 26th. So really, we've got some great big. We've got some good cards in um, the first third of the season of boxing. April 26th at Tottenham Hotspur. We've got February 22nd in Riyadh. So it's looking good, man. It's looking good. Who have I? Oh, what's this? Who have I got winning? Who have I got winning? It's tough, because Eubank in his last fight, he's looking shaky. When he gets hit, something about him just looks vulnerable and shaky, like he's not really on it like he used to. That killer instinct, which he used to have, the guy in the car park, booting off brothers' faces and getting into it, like really on it. I don't think he's that person anymore. I think he's becoming a bit too civilized. Whereas Conor Ben still has he's got drive and motivation because of what he's been through, and he's got a lot of pain to release. But Conor, he wasn't able to really hurt the 154 guys, but Eubank is looking a bit vulnerable when he gets hit, but he does. If it was the proper Eubank, then he should wipe out Conor. But it's a lot more harder to call. I will have to give my firm prediction closer to the time. But right now, on a soft prediction, I will go with. I'm going to go with Eubank Jr. I'm going to go with Eubank Jr. on points. Yeah, on points. Conor wins based on savagery and pure aggression. Eubanks is too comfy. You can't fight on a full belly. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, Shamel. So that's where if Connors comes in, with all that rage, he could end up taking Eubank out. He could end up taking Eubanks out. Oh man, am I gonna go with Connor? Oh man, it's tough. I'm gonna go with Eubanks on points for now, but closer to the time, I might change my mind because it's that close. This ain't no foregone conclusion. I definitely think Ben is 45% in with a chance of taking Eubank out. So yeah, man. Next up, we've got Better Beeve versus Bivol. I remember I said on the neutral corner last month the reason why I think Bivol will win the rematch. I can't see if I could pull this thing up here. Like someone needs to show me how I can add in these video clips, but I'm gonna play them and you can listen. Yeah, to because I did the take early. I got the take early, man. Where is it? Where's he? Here. All right. So listen to this. Yeah. So first of all, we're gonna do the first take I got early doors, right? Where this was last month, where I asked David Alorca, I said AJ or Wilder because it's the word on the camp. I've been hearing whispers in the background. Then all of a sudden, Turkey Al Sheikh's come out the other day, basically a month later, saying, he wants to make AJ versus Wilder. But yeah, here's the take. Hold on. Oh man, 1 second. AJ or Wilder, because I'm hearing that talk. Aji Caballo or Zhang? Caballo. Yeah. So you heard me say that. This is on the David Alorca Neutral Corner podcast. Then this is all during the penultimate round section of the podcast with David Alorca on the Neutral Corner. Make sure you check that out, guys. So then listen to this section now. I think Bivol's going to win the rematch because I think Bivol would have learned more in that first fight about himself and Better Beeve than what Better Beeve learned about himself and what he learned about Bivol, because Better Beeve already knows he can get cut and come through. He knows he can take a punch. Yeah. He knows Bivol's probably in his mind. He's thinking, you're shocking it. You've seen a man 20 real KOs, but now he's thinking, all right, it did hurt, but I went 12. I was the first one to go 12, so I can do this again. It's not like he just went 12 to say he went 12. Yeah, man, he didn't survive. Yeah, you hear that? Shout out, obviously, my co-host Big Lex and obviously David Alorca's guest. So listen to this first section again. I think Bivol's going to win the rematch because I think Bivol would have learned more in that first fight about himself and Better Beeve than what Better Beeve learned about himself. Yeah, all right. So you hear that, yeah? Last month. You can check the date, the timestamps. Then he's gone on to Talk Sport at the press conference, the last Crescendo press conference on Tuesday, just gone. And obviously they've only released it yesterday, this interview with Dimitri Bivol. Big up. So this is Spencer on TalkSport. Fair use, guys. I'm going to ask you, what have you learned about Better Beeve that you didn't know before the first fight?
To be honest, everything what was in the ring, I expect before, yeah. And now I learn about myself something, yeah, which I don't want to talk about because only after my second fight we will talk. And about Better Beeve, I thought he will use his power. He used it. I knew that he will push me. He will move forward a lot. He did it. It just that feelings which you had against such opponent. You can expect something, but when you went through it, it's something different. Yeah. What did I just say? What did I say? What did I tell you? See, I said that
he learned more about himself than Beterbiev would have learned about himself. And as I said, now he's been through it. Obviously, he's thinking, yeah, it hurt, but I can get through this. So he's saying when you go through it, it's something different. So yeah, he's probably thought it was going to be worse than what it ended up being. Obviously, he knew it was bad, especially the last few rounds, but it probably wasn't as mad. Or he learned about himself that I'm actually more conditioned. I'm a lot tougher than maybe I even realized. So there you see. So there you have it. That's 2 takes right there. It's 2 takes right there. David Benavidez, Morel. We'll get onto that. Maybe not this week. Not this week. But make sure you tune in for the live watch along on that fight. Me and Maestro will be hosting that. So make sure you tune in for that. That'll be fun. Maestro, the man couldn't take out Pete Dobson at 154. This isn't tough at all. But has Pete Dobson been taken out ever before? I haven't seen him on the canvas before. He's been in with punches after that, and he ain't been taken out. So it might not necessarily be an inkling to that his power's reduced. He might have just come up against a top, because Peter Dobson has a big head. You know what I mean? So he's durable. Shumel, AJ versus Zhang in China would crack a new market and do crazy numbers. Yeah, it would. It would. In China or India, they've got 1 billion plus people. India is now the most populated country in the world. China being the second now. I don't even remember when China last was second. They've been first for so long. So yeah, so there you go. Bivol, as I said, I believe Bivol wins the rematch. I believe he wins it on points, and it might be a bad. It's going to be tough for the other light heavyweights. They're going through good fights and stuff. Obviously, you've got Joshua Boatsi versus Callum Smith. You've got Craig Richards versus Padraig McCrory. You've got David Morrell versus David Benavidez. But then obviously if Bivol wins the rematch, will all the sanctioning bodies make an exception and allow for the trilogy to be for the undisputed again? Or will certain sanctioning bodies then require, we've got to start stripping belts and stuff like that? One might get released because obviously people are going to clamour straight away for that vacant title shot. So if Better Beef wins, I imagine he'll either move up a division or he'll just retire. He might not feel like fancy fighting Jaya Pattaya, so he might just retire. And then all the belts just get scattered. And if Bivol wins, then it could be a trilogy for all the belts. Or maybe one just gets released and 3 of the belts usually stay within the mix because, they like that sanctioning fee. They like them sanctioning fees. Shout out Sports with Blake, Dan Blake. Big ups. AJ should run it back with Daniel this year by end of 2025. AJ should run it back or Daniel should run it back? Well, that depends if AJ's in line and high enough in the rankings to get a shot. Daniel's got his fight against Joseph Parker. Providing he wins that, then he'll be looking to fight Usyk next. So that's 2 fights already. AJ needs to get himself back on the saddle. Turki Al-Sheikh saying he wants to see him versus Wilder. Then obviously you're seeing talks of AJ saying he wants to do a fight in Africa if they can get the sponsorships and the funding against Martin Bakole. He says he's happy to go to Congo, which is formerly known as Zaire, to fight do the Rumble in the Jungle, the 2nd edition, in the same stadium that Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman. So yeah, that could be 2 fights for AJ. 2 fight, and then maybe towards the end of the year they could if provided they both get through those 2 fights each. That's 4 fights, so anything can happen in that time. These fights ain't a joke. So yeah. Anything else? Any other comments so far? At least try and revenge your loss. Yeah, but it's not so easy to come back. It's easy saying that. It's easy saying that, Dan. But have you been knocked out before and then been ready to go back in there with that person, get up and have that rumble with that person on the street after they've literally iced you and had you, you know, face planted into the concrete or in the grass? It's easier said than done. It takes a lot of mental fortitude to come back from something like that. Especially so soon. You need to rebuild, get your confidence back. You know, it's not as easy said as it's easier said than done. It's easy for us sitting comfortably with our beverages and hors d'oeuvres. Yeah. Um, in other news, Javonte Davis, um, he's been getting into a spat with Terence Crawford. I've seen people putting up videos of Terence Crawford in the car talking about, "I'll literally break your neck, boy." What some people need to understand, which I've had to correct a few people, but for those who might not know, that video is years old. Like, people are reloading the dryer. That video is years old. That video was done where that video was actually a message to Gary Russell Jr. when they was arguing, when Gary Russell claimed that he punched Terence Crawford back in the day on the team and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, that's what that was about. That was from years ago. You can even see the quality of the footage. That his hairstyle's not even the same. So yeah, that's not a recent video, guys. So don't think that he's talking to Tank. But if he does see Tank, I imagine he will probably drag him around like I saw him dragging his friend or some guy he knows around this accommodation like a mop recently, because Tank was being very disrespectful. Did you hear that the PBC are getting dropped by Amazon? Yes, I did hear that. I did hear that. Al Heyman, I've heard for a while. Shout out Coach Malachi Williams. I've heard for a while that he is not well, and that's why business has not been going as usual. But also, the money's drying up. People are getting a lot smarter. Well, the American fans, I don't know if they're getting smarter because they're still paying over the odds on top dollar for these pay-per-views. I see David Benavidez and David Morrell is $79.99, $80, which is £65. Can you imagine that? £65. We ain't paying £65 even for Last Crescendo. But £65 for a non-title fight. Don't talk about no interim this and no. You got two interim champions or whatever. That is not a world title fight. So for a non-title bout main event, you're charging £65, which is $80. Come on, and people are paying for this nonsense. It's crazy. You got to get wiser. The supporters over in the Americas. That way they can stop trying to charge you like an arm and a leg for everything. It's just mad. It's crazy. But yeah, I heard Amazon's getting dropped. Here at Top Rank, their deal's coming to an end with ESPN, so they might be looking to move over to DAZN, possibly. Obviously, we know that Queensbury are going to be moving over to DAZN around June time, from what I remember, with Frank Warren. So yeah, man, a lot of these guys at the PBC, they're gonna have to start looking for a new home because it's not the model's not working anymore. It's just not working, unfortunately. $80 for interim, $20 for undisputed. Make that make sense? Exactly, exactly. How can you be charging 4 times more? 4 times more for an undisputed light heavyweight championship, the a heavyweight world title fight, a lightweight world title fight, a middleweight world title fight. Come on, man. Plus other big fights on the card. Like, come on. You're charging times 4 the price for a non-title fight. Come on, with number 3 and 4 in the division. So number 1 and 2 are charging you 20 pound or $20, and number 3 and 4 in the division are charging you $80. Come on, come on, come on. It's silly, isn't it? It's not, it doesn't even sound right. Philip Ansah, bro, I heard on IBFP's live where he was having a debate with a Tank fan who was obviously riding him, but when he was asked if he'll buy the Roach pay-per-view, he said he's not buying it. Well, he's not going to buy it. He's going to stream it. Of course he's going to stream it. Just like, come on. What's he going to... How much is he trying to charge for that? He would probably try to charge $80-$90 too. That's why the fight's been cancelled for the second time. Talking about venue problems, and I don't even know what the second reason is. The reason is they can't get the money. And also they're not even selling the tickets. The tickets ain't even moving off the shelf. The tickets ain't even moving. So, because I know that with Tank fights, he likes to charge big numbers because he wants, he likes money in it. But now the walls are closing in. You're gonna have to start fighting proper fights, not where you're the 10-1 favorite. Come on, man. You got to fight some serious fights. Like these you're making excuses why you can't fight Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. What do they bring and this? But what does Lamont Roach bring? What does quite a few of your fighters who you fought bring? Yet you're fighting these guys. Come on. It doesn't. You're just making weird excuses. It's like you don't. You're trying to get the best bread for the lowest risk. I know in by nature that's what most people would want to do, but this is competition, man. You gotta think about some kind of legacy. You can't. You're gonna start looking fraudulent. Well, people are starting to say you're looking fraudulent, Tank, and now you're trying to argue with Terence Crawford, who is proven entity. People were saying, who's he beat? The lightweight run, was it really? Well, he punched up the number 1 welterweight, man, who was dominating for years. He punched up my boy, man. Then he's gone up, fought Madrimov. He's proven. Do you know what I mean? He's proven. You've never won an undisputed title, Tank. You've never even been the lineal. You've never held the Ring magazine. Not one. Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it, son. And then you're trying to talk about Terrence's wife, someone he's been with from, school days. He's got his family, got 8 kids. He's living. The daughter's doing track and field. He's got his other son. He's got his sons doing wrestling. Come on, he's got a stable nuclear family. Tank's. He's busy having his, baby mum put feces on his toothbrush and getting into domestic problems where he's getting arrested. She's calling the police on him and he's getting nicked. He's getting booked. Come on, man. You can't be. Come on. Stop it, man. Stop it. Stop it. What we got here? Facts on Tank. That's why he ain't linking with Saudi. Yeah, he's talking about he wants 150 mil to reload the dryer against Ryan Garcia. Come on. That's just stupidness. How can you be asking for 150 for a fight you've already won? I see you say Tank's in hiding. Yeah, it's just stupidness. Why have you not even said 150 to fight Shakur or 150 to fight Devin Haney or Tiafimo? Something like another fighter. Why Ryan Garcia? Where you're gonna probably try and do the rehydration again, or dry him down. It's just silly, isn't it? Like it's just nonsense at the end of the day. It's just nonsense. Sorry for I sound a bit bunged up, I don't know why. Because I'd actually recovered from a cold, but Maybe I did have the window open last night when I went to sleep, so maybe that's why. Also, in other news, this is some good news. Amir Khan's put out a statement in saying the final individual connected to the theft of my watch has been sentenced to 6 years and 8 months in prison. In total, the group has received 32 years of incarceration. I would like to express my gratitude to the flying squad and the Metropolitan Police UK. So yeah, that was mad when he was in East London somewhere, um, coming out of a restaurant with his wife, and yeah, the guy stuck him up with a strap, man, and nicked his watch, but he managed to get it back, and the guys have all been nicked and they've been prosecuted. So hey, man, crime don't pay. Crime don't pay. I see a brother doing on a podcast recently saying about when he tried to stick up a footballer with a knife. It's so dumb, but the footballer didn't have it, and he ended up having to scurry off. Dumb, man. Dumb. Let's see some other news. No. Well, how's the Parliament? We're talking about the Conor Ben and Chris Eubank Jr. and the Conor Ben fight. Let me hold on. Let me play you a bit of this. This is some modern day parliamentary procedure. Come on.
This week, we heard the announcement of the great fight between Conor Ben and Chris Eubank Jr. This is the best fight in British boxing and showcases what a fantastic sport is we have in the UK. Will the Secretary of State join me in wishing both fighters the best of luck and showcasing this brilliant fight across the world?
Can I thank him for that and absolutely add my voice to his? I think there are certain sports in the UK, whether it's boxing, darts, snooker, that have been underrepresented in terms of government attention. We're determined that that's going to change because we know how much joy they bring to millions of people.
Imagine that, And I see a clip of when Eubank Senior said about, yeah, you've had your time. Let's have some parliamentary procedure here. It made even Nigel Benn break character and laugh because and to this day that bar still pops. That bar is timeless. That bar is popping. Eubank Senior is a G for that. So yeah, man. That's why I yeah. So yeah, so that's even the parliament are talking about the Conor Ben Eubank Jr. fight. Who do you think's going to win, guys? Also, oh yes, also, I don't know how I can send this in here. Go on to try and look. I might try and put it in the community section on the Fight Fan TV Live YouTube page. It's about Tony Cisse, a former amateur ABA champion and also a pro boxing coach. He has motor neuron disease and he's not in a good way. So, the boxing fraternity trying to help, raising money for him for, medical expenses and stuff like that. So here's the sort of the headline. Hi, I'm trying to raise money on behalf of a good friend and a true gentleman and a credit to boxing, Tony Cisse, aka Top Cat. This man was a national champion representing Repton Boxing Club, Repton ABC. He also helped a lot of youths and a credit to his community. Please, he is not well and needs all the help he can get. Thank you. Yeah, he's a bit old. He's quite a bit older than me actually. He must be about late 40s by now. But yeah, I remember I sparred him a few times down Peacock. And yeah, he trained. He was the original trainer of Anthony Yard when Anthony Yard was amateur. He trained a lot of guys. Tino, who just turned pro. Tinos, sorry, who just turned pro under Donnell Smith. So yeah, he's putting a lot of work in boxing, man. So I hope the community and you guys can get behind it and help if you can. That would be very much appreciated. Also, Turki Al-Sheikh has confirmed he's planning to stage 2 fights, 2 shows in May in the US, one of which will be a USA versus Mexico 5 versus 5, and another one actually as well. I forgot what the other one was. So yeah, people was online saying what fights they would like to see. USA versus Mexico 5 versus 5. That's always been a good sort of rivalry going there. What else is there? Any other news? Layla Ali, she was on Andre Ward's show recently. That was a good show. Also, I think this was line of the week. You have to say this was line of the week. Hold on.
To Ajit Cabello. I'm bigger ban. I'm to say to Ajit Cabello. I'm bigger ban. I'm buying you. No delay. To say.
Big Bang Zang. I'm telling you, if this guy was British or American, or based here at least in one of these countries, he'd be pay-per-view. He's actually hilarious. Wonder how much money Turkey might have paid them to say that. To say what? Paid who to say what? You'd have to elaborate on that for me, Philip. Any other news quickly?
I'm bigger ban. I'm buying.
Come on, man. Too much Diddy talk. Canelo versus Crawford. That's been announced. That's looking like that's going to be in September for Mexican independence. Some people's asking why is it not on Cinco de Mayo? Because Cinco de Mayo is a national holiday, but obviously it means more to Mexicans. Mexican independence means more, so it's a bigger show, it's a bigger stage. You'll get more people coming out. Yeah. Plus, it gives it a chance to build. It's a massive fight, so you probably would need to marinate it more. And really, yeah. But I imagine that will get staged probably in Las Vegas. If not, I don't know. Mexico? I don't know. Probably Vegas. But yeah, you can wait till September. But what I think, I would like them to both have a fight in the meantime, in the interim. Obviously against, lower hanging fruit. Just to stay busy, just so they don't have to, wait so long, because they both their last fight was not literally the other day, was it? So it'll have been a while for both of them. So, but it'll be Canelo's 65th fight. That's very that's unheard of for this era. That many fights. But it'll be Terence Crawford's 41st fight, which is a good amount. But 65, that's some going, man. That's some going. Hold on. I'm glad you mentioned Yard. Today I saw an interview he was doing with IFL where Eddie jumped in for a second, mentioned Craig Richards for him to fight, and he said Craig's his guy, so no. Yeah. He said, yeah, he's his guy, and then Eddie Hearn said, yeah, he said, you reckon he's your mate? Well, he told me he's going to bang you out. He told me he'll bang you out. And then Yard goes, all right, I'll do Craig. Oh, no, I'm joking, and quickly backed out. But yeah, there was talks of that fight. There was talks of that fight being put on a card for April 26th. I think there was talks. I think for like the Conor Ben Eubank card, because then it makes Boxer DAZN, because they couldn't do it just on their own show, because then there would always be conflict, wouldn't there, of DAZN broadcast versus Sky Sports. So there was talks of it for that card. But as Eddie Hearn said, Yard said no. Yard declined. The House of Commons. Yeah, it was in the House of Commons, man. That talking about boxing. So it just shows you boxing is alive and kicking. It's on and popping. You know, you've got a fight, I think today, a UFC fight. It's like a rematch, something, I forgot the names of it, but it's something too, you know, they're constantly reloading the dryer. Over there, they're just reloading. All they're doing is reloading the dryer. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Keep it fresh and funky. But yeah, the ceremony, the Ring Magazine ceremony, that looked good. You know, good to see some of the fighters and stuff like that over here. Shout out to Base the Kid and October Red for the work they done at the last Crescendo press conference. Really good work. Make sure you check out their pages for the interviews with a lot of fighters. Good names. Well, not even just fighters, people in the industry. There's even one, October Red, with Spencer Brown. That's really good. And also Virgil Ortiz. Some very good information about him be revealed, which I would never have thought. Very interesting. Big up to Base the Kid. He's got a good one with Jail Pataya. He always gets good answers out of him, better than other reporters. I think because they built up a rapport. And also the line of questioning Base does as well. It kind of forces you to give a different style answer because the question's not inside the box, it's outside. Not like way left, but it's not your conventional way. So he makes you get into detail. So yeah, and he's got a few other good ones as well with Callum Simpson. Gave him a tough time, but big up to Callum Simpson, man. He came through with flying colours on that one. So you got to respect it. You got to rate it. So yeah, I think that there's no boxing really on, so I can't even give you any predictions for this week. Also, shout out to Dee Allen, the former welterweight, former women's welterweight European champion. She basically vacated her belt because she couldn't get any opportunities, so it kind of got forced out off of her through politics. And then Kirsty Bevington, she managed to get a shot and fight the person who Dee Allen beat for the European champion, that Duchamp, the French lady. She beat her on points for that same belt that Dee Allen already won and vacated. Wait a minute, let me get the name of the French lady, as to not be disrespectful. Marine Beauchamp. Yeah, she was unbeaten when Dee Allen beat her, and dropped her in the first round. She come back after, got drawn and beat someone, and then lost to Kirsty Barrington in October 19th last year. Dee Allen beat her November 3rd, 2023. Didn't get a defense. Normally, when you got a European title, then normally you got a prize, and they was all swerving. And then Kirsty Barrington has won the title. So really, Kirsty Barrington should really fight Dee Allen, because Dee didn't lose that belt in the ring. So yeah, I'd like to see that fight. So guys, I'd like you guys to push that online. You want to see Dee Allen? I know Ring IQ. I know you're a supporter of Dee Allen. So yeah, we want to see Dee Allen back in action, getting fights and getting in the mix. Big puncher. You know what I mean? Still keeping in shape. I see she was in the gym. Ben Doughty was down her gym at the Origin the other day. So yeah, got to get you back in action, man. So yeah, other than that, anything else to talk about? Otherwise, I might just wrap this up. I'll give you guys a minute. But whilst I'm saying that, make sure you follow at Fight Fan TV Live. Hit the like button, people. Please hit the like button. And also make sure you tune in to Fight Talk Live tomorrow with myself, Base the Kid, Maestro, and October Red. Also, follow Fight Fan TV Live on TikTok. I need to get the followers up so I can start going live on there as well. Follow me on Twitter /X, which I call TwitX, thanks to Base the Kid, at Danny Glover FFTV, DANI Glover FFTV. Yeah, and obviously subscribe. Follow the Instagram page, Fight Fan TV Live as well. I think that's it from everyone. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. Much appreciated. Hope you like. Leave comments in the comment section after the videos if you're tuning in later on and obviously watching this on the playback. And I'll do another one soon, so be sure to lock in. And there you have it, guys. It's Danny Glover from Fight Fan TV Live. We're here doing word on the canvas. And remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. You know where it is. Hold on, last one. What's going on with Matchroom Prize Fighter? Oh, I asked Frank Smith about that, remember, when I was in Birmingham. And he said it was something to do. I forgot what it was to do with. Actually, you have to go and watch that one. It was when it was during the Sonny Edwards Galaya fight week. But I don't know if it was to do with money, but it was something. I think it was some legal issues. It was some legal issues going on. Something legal, something to do with the setup over there. So it's not to do with actual Frank Smith. It's to do with something obviously over in Japan. But that's why he's been getting fighters out on other shows like Kieran Conway and stuff like that, getting them on other shows to keep them active whilst they're trying to resolve the issues so they can still commence on with the second round of the tournament. So I think that's what's going on. But next time I speak to Frank, I'll try and get another update of to when that's looking to resume at some point. So yeah, but that's all right. So thank you for that. Any other questions, guys? Get them in fast. Get them in fast. We want to try and wrap up before the hour mark. So we've got 1 minute and 45 seconds. I'll wait about another 30 seconds. Any more questions? If not, I'll wrap this up and bring this to the last crescendo. Pardon the pun. Just waiting on anything else. Anyone, as Philip, you proper waited until I've done the whole outro and then you hit me with that question. You're a boy, eh? Alright, that's it. So there you have it, guys. It's Danny Glover from Fight Fan TV Live, and we're here doing word on the canvas. And remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. You know where it is. Take care. Bless up.